Hi everyone and welcome to another lockdown video. Today I am going to be discussing my top 10 all-time Gateshead away days, and in the true spirit of it I've got a Gateshead away top on. It's going to be nice to look back at some of these, so without further ado, let's get going. So in at number 10 I've gone for the first of quite a few from the 2018-19 season, and in at number 10 I've gone for a 3-0 win we obtained at Chesterfield on the 22nd of September 2018. We were absolutely brilliant that day. And the thing that sort of stands out for me about this away day is when we scored the second goal, Steve Rigg basically ran through the whole Chesterfield team and stuck it in the top corner. The thing that stands out is that as soon as he did that, there was home fans all around us stood up and started clapping it. So that just shows just how sort of good we were that day. The home fans, I think, applauded us off the pitch at the end as well. Really good, really enjoyable day, and sort of nice and easy as well on the train. So in at number 9 we are casting our minds back to the 2016-17 season and to a 3-1 win away at York City. It was a Tuesday night. It had been rearranged because York had got to the quarterfinals of the FA Trophy, so they pushed it forward by 3 days. I remember I was at uni in Carlisle at the time. I went down that night for that game, and I went home for the night afterwards, which was pretty good. I remember I had quite a good time. I was over out in York, had 1 or 2 drinks before the game, which was nice. A nice little look round as well. Then the game was absolutely hammering it down, but we went 1-0 up after 30 seconds, then 2-1 up just before half time, and totally bossed the second half after that. The Gateshead fans, I think it was 180 or so of us, in full voice all night. It was absolutely brilliant. Well worth its place in my top 10 away days. So in at number 8 is a ground that away fans often don't like visiting. I think sometimes they feel they're unfairly treated by stewards, and to be fair, I can sort of see why with the way they've sort of lay out the segregation and stuff like that. But in at number 8 is another from the 2018-19 season, and that is a 2-1 win away at Barnet on the 24th of November. I think what it was about this game is the determination to get the job done that day. During earlier that week, Barnet had knocked Bristol Rovers out of the FA Cup. Obviously, Bristol Rovers being a League One team then as they are now. So yeah, I just thought it was really it was a really good result. I remember when we scored the winner, there was Luke Armstrong. I think it was about 15 minutes or so left. I turned around and hugged one of the guys behind me, and basically scratched my ear in the hugging process. So it was an interesting one, but it was made for a pretty nice journey home as well, to be fair. It's always nice to get 3 points when you've got a long journey ahead of you. So yeah, it was totally worth it. So in at number 7 is from the 2017-18 season, and that is a 3-0 win away at Maidenhead on the 11th of November. I'd actually gone down a night earlier. I went to England against Germany the night before, which was a pretty awful game, to be honest. I didn't enjoy sort of the experience or sort of any of it really. The game was poor. And I remember before the players had even come out of the tunnel, I was being told to sit down. But the day after at Maidenhead totally made up for that. Was really good that day. Completely bossed the game. Was 2-0 up within the first 10 minutes. Then we added a third in the second half. We took a good following to Maidenhead that day as well, which was pretty good. We didn't stop singing. We all had a really good day in that. So Maidenhead, again, well worth its place within the top 10. So we're at number 6 again in the 2018-19 season. It is a 1-0 win that we obtained away at Havant and Waterlooville on the 13th of October. It was such a long day. I think I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning that day. Been terrible storms in the north all night, so the trains were running at a slower pace, which made getting across London interesting. I didn't have as much time, but fortunately I made it onto the onward train from, is it Waterloo? I think it's Waterloo, where to go towards Portsmouth way, isn't it? Any Londoners watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I made it in good time and got the train to Havant. And as it happened, it was absolutely glorious down there. I think I was overdressed really. Yeah, it was a tight game. Obviously, I think Steve Rigg popped up with a header. We managed to nab the 3 points, and we were on a good run at that time as well. So I think it was sort of a feel-good feeling around the club, which unfortunately, for obviously reasons every Gateshead fan knows about, obviously faded away pretty sharply. But all the same, there were some good times that season, and that was definitely one of them. So at number 5 is probably my favourite league away day of that season, and that was a 3-2 win away at Maidstone United on the 22nd of December, 3 days before Christmas. Game we were doing alright. Obviously we were a bit more aware of what was going on behind the scenes, but I think we were all sort of really enjoying what was happening on the pitch. And I know we'd gone out the FA Trophy a few days earlier to Salford, but nothing we're too worried really. Still doing all right in the league, and we just made a really good day of it down at Maidstone. A lot of fans showed up in Christmas jumpers. I didn't, because that's not really my thing, to be honest. But yeah, it was a really nice little pub. I like in Maidstone. I'd been a year earlier in the FA Trophy. I can't remember what it's called, but I do like it. Then I met a lot of fans in the Weatherspoons there, and then we went to the ground. So we just had then the pie was really good, and it looked like we were in cruise control. We were 3-0 up, like 12 minutes left. Then suddenly Maidstone scored twice, and it made for a nervy end, but we held on. And it meant I could enjoy my Christmas. So yeah, enjoyed that one, and well worth its place in the top 5. So in at number 4 is probably the last proper away day any of us were able to do before all this really sort of kicked off, and that is a 3-0 win away at Boston United on the 25th of February last year. We were just brilliant that night, to be honest. Boston got nowhere near us at all. Completely dominated the game. And as it happens, that was the last time any fans ever went into York Street for a game. So it's a bit of history there for you. Well, obviously we went back there in July as it was and lost in the playoffs, but that was a really good night. And when there was 5 of us in the car on the way back, I was having a bit of a sing song. It was just a really good night where everything well and truly fell into place. So number 3 is a game that we actually lost, but all the same it was a really good day, and it's another one from the 2018-19 season, and it is the game we had away at Rochdale in the FA Cup. I went there knowing it was a free hit. In the day, there were and still are a League One side. They had Ian Henderson at the time, who was firing on all cylinders for him. So I think we just arrived, just knowing it was a case of just do what we can and see where it takes us. We was getting into the game, then sadly they scored twice within a couple of minutes, but then we sort of grew back into it again. Then early second half, we got the goal. It's a hell of a reaction from the fans when it went in. And I think, if anyone's looking like they were going to score again, it was us. We're so close to taking that to a replay. And looking back, I think we maybe sort of deserved to, but it was still a really good day, and that's what the FA Cup's about. Getting ties like that. That don't come about overly often. So really enjoyed it, and hopefully it won't be too long before those sorts of days come back, and we can have another day out at a Football League team in the Cup. So number 2 is another from the 2016-17 season, and it is a 2-0 win we got away at Wrexham on the 11th of March. I think Wrexham's probably one of my favourite away grounds to visit, to be fair. I do always enjoy the day there, regardless of the result and that. I quite like that centenary bar they've got. Obviously, Wrexham lager. You've got to have some if you've not before. I do genuinely enjoy it. I know that way end's not the best, but still, it's always like when we were in the National League. It was always one of those fixtures I'd look out for. So that was the first time I went. I also went another 2 times after that. Unfortunately, we lost both, but still. They were good trips, but obviously not as good as this one. Obviously, mainly because of the result, but also probably because it was a Saturday afternoon, early spring. It was, and obviously it got us to 6 wins in a row as well, and I think we leapt up into the playoffs that day. Obviously, at the time, only between 2nd and 5th got in the playoffs in the National League, and obviously we went into 5th. I know we didn't get in the playoffs in the end that season, but at the time it was really, really enjoyable. So at number 1 is an FA Trophy tie from the 2017-18 season. If you know anything about Gateshead's cup run that year, you'll know which one I'm talking about straight away, and that is the 3-3 draw we obtained at Leyton Orient, coming back from 3-0 down. What a day! I really enjoyed the trip. I quite like Brisbane Road as a ground. I don't mind Leyton Orient as a club either. They absolutely dominated us in the first half, then went in 1-0 up, then sort of picked up where I left off in the second half, then went 3-0 up, then all of a sudden something changed. Danny Johnson, who instantly plays for Leyton Orient, scored. Then he scored again for us. Then all of a sudden we're thinking, hold on, could we get something? Then obviously in the 90th minute we completed the comeback, and it was just one of those moments I'll never forget. Unbelievable day. So that's it for me for this video. I'll be back at some point in the next week with discussing my all-time favourite football trip that I've been on. So I'm looking forward to looking back on that. Stay safe, take care, I'll see you later.